Let's share my screen. So, in last class, um, we all know about, we have discussed what is software, types of software testing, types of software, what is software testing, and what is the difference between a project and product, and what is error, bug, failure, and different environments in a project. And there are four types of different environments like developing, testing environment, UAT environment, production environment, right? And I'll repeat a brief in in develop environment. In this is the first phase. This is the first environment in project, and during this environment, developers will be involved to develop the application as per the client requirement and client expectations. Okay. After this development, they will deploy the application into testing environment. And this during this testing environment, testers involved and testing one application as per the client requirements. After this, testing team will give the confirmation to the developers. Based on the confirmation mail, development team will deploy the application into UAT environment, right? And after this, what happened? Testing team along with the client will be involving to perform the testing on the application. And later we are, testing team giving the confirmation to the development team. So development team will deploy the application to the production environment. So yesterday we have discussed production is nothing but live environment. In this environment, end users directly will be involving to use or work on the application. Right? Up to this, we already discussed. Next, uh, let us understand what is different environments in a project. Oh, sorry, already we have discussed, right? And what is expected result and actual result, and who is collecting the requirement from the client in your project, types of documents, and how we are getting the requirements in the project, and it's completely comes under SDLC. Okay, so let us understand first what is expected result and actual result. What is actual result and expected result? Let us understand. So actual result is that what we can get and see by our own eyes while testing. So that means during testing, if we see what we can get the result by our own eyes, that is the actual result. So, and let us, what is expected result? Expected result is that imaginary result we should get after the test cases executed. For example, if you take a login screen, Gmail login screen, okay, what you will see first username, password, login button, right? And username, if you if you pass valid username and valid password, I just give you one scenario. Uh, if you pass valid username and valid password, then it should be login, right? You have to enter into the application. But here, what happened? If you pass a valid password, valid username, and valid password, after that also login is not working. Okay. Did you understand what is the scenario? So, so after passing valid username and valid password also, it is not working. Then what is your expectations? It should log in, but it is not working, right? So that is actual result. What is imaginary? Whatever you imaginated, right? That is your expectations. I am thinking it should be login, but it's not working. That is actual result. So this is the difference between what is actual and expectations. So expected means this is imaginary result after we executed test case. We should get after the test is executed. And actual result, what we can get after the test case is executed. Okay. And next topic is who is collecting the requirements. For that, we have to know first what is SDLC, right? And my next question is is collecting the requirements from the client in your project. Okay. So for that, let us understand first the basic what is SDLC and what is requirement. Okay. SDLC means SDLC software development life cycle. Okay. SDLC is nothing but software development life cycle, and it is the step by step process which we are following to complete the software project that includes both developing and testing. After completion of development activities, we can't say that we completed the project. Okay. We can say that we completed the project only after completion of both development and testing activities. For completion of every activity or work, we have to follow some process. In the same way, for the completion of software project, also we have to follow some process. And this process we called as software development life cycle. Right? And here in SDLC, we will see different phases. I mean, we consider like the six different phases, like requirements, analysis, design, coding, testing, release, and maintenance. Let us understand one by one. First of all, requirements. So first, what is the requirement? We will see. So this is the first phase in SDLC. Once the project has been confirmed between client and company, client will directly provide requirements to company or business analyst team. Okay. The company will collect the requirements from the client. For collecting requirements from the client, BA team is following some techniques. Okay. Few techniques they BA team will follow. What are the techniques are there? One is KT. KT means knowledge transfer. Second one, questionnaires. Third one, inspection. Okay. So knowledge transfer. What is the knowledge transfer? So in this technique, BA team will collect the requirements by requesting the client to transfer the information about the business. That is knowledge transfer. Whatever they are doing the business, right, by client, and BA team will collect all the information, all the requirements from the client. Okay. That is the knowledge transfer. And questionnaires. Questionnaires here, BA team will collect the requirements by asking some questions to the client about client business. Okay. If you are doing some business, right, like something, anything you are doing some business. So I'm here, I'm from BA team. I'm sitting in front of you and I will question and you have to answer what is your business, what is your requirements, what is your expectations, what is your budget, anything I'll question and you have to answer. This is the questionnaires. And inspection. In this technique, the team will collect requirements directly by step into client business and observe how the client is doing the business manually. Manually, they will check and how the business doing, and they will take the information. And this technique use uh, under the requirements. Okay, these three involved under the requirements and BA team using these techniques and taking the information from the client. Second one, analysis. So during this phase, BA team will be involving, just a moment, guys. Okay, so analysis means during this phase, BA team will be involving to analyze the collected client requirements, and they will be designing the understandable form of requirement document called as, there are number of documents, but I specifically mentioned BRS document, FRS document, SRS document. So what are those? To analyze what are the documents they are referring. One, BRS document. Second thing, FRS document and SRS document. So what is BRS document? What is the abbreviation of that? Business requirement specification. Okay. And FRS means functional requirement specification. And next, SRS means software or system requirement specification. So business requirement specification document, functional requirement specification, or software requirement specification. So let us understand one by one what is BRS document. So BRS document is in the form of Word format, and BRS document contains one flow of the requirement. So it defines what to develop and what to test. That means by seeing the BRS document, they can understand what to develop, and testing team can be understand what to test. So let us understand, let us take you to picture how it is. So the image it is, so I'm just preparing the manual thing. Okay. So in BRS document, there is in Word format, and you can say the some paragraphs like user can able to see logo in the top left corner and date and time in the top right. You can see, right? Login, date and time, username, password, sign in, right? So in BRS document, they will mention user can able to see logo, user can able to see date and time in the top right corner. So like that. And second line is user can able to see username, password, sign in button. So they will mention like this in Word format, and we have to prepare like this. We have to design like this. I mean, design the application. This is like that, okay? And second thing, FRS document. Where is that? Thank you. So FRS document is in the form of Excel sheet, and it contains the rules and conditions of all the requirements. Okay. And it defines how to develop and how to test. That means by seeing this document, developers and testers can easily understand how to develop and how to test in a project. So this is the example of a FRS document. This is an Excel I have prepared. So this is a serial number, and this is the BRS. BRS means whatever the rules and conditions of all the requirements, right? That comes of BRS documents only. So based on the BRS document, they will prepare one FRS document, and it is in Excel sheet format. Okay, and it defines how to develop and how to test. If you see BRS requirement number one, logo size should be 24 into 14, and date format should be MMDDYY. Time format should be 24 hours. Username, password should be text box. Sign in should be button. There is, I mean, everything is very clear. Size, length, width, color, everything they will mention, but in the form of rules or conditions that we called as FRS document. And here author who will prepare, and date also we have to mention. So next, SRS document. SRS document is in the form of either in Word or Excel. Okay. This document contains softwares, hardware parts, database, which is required to develop and test the applications. And it defines where to develop, and where to test. That means by seeing this document, development team can understand where to develop and testing team can understand where to test. So these are the three types of documents that we have seen. And next, so these three documents comes under analysis. By referring these three documents, we analyze the requirements. And next, how we are getting the requirements in the project. So we are getting the requirements in our project in the form of BRS document, FRS document, and SRS document. I mean from the BA team through SharePoint. I will show the image how it is. So first of all, let us note down here SharePoint. So once the BA team has designed two documents, right, they will upload the documents into SharePoint and send the confirmation mail to both the development team and the testing team along with the location of the requirements in SharePoint. Okay. And once we get the confirmation mail, test lead will log in into just a moment, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the interruption. So what I'm saying. So once the BA team has designed the documents, whatever VRS, FRS, SRS, they will upload the documents in this into SharePoint and send the confirmation mail to both teams like development team, testing team, along with the locations. Okay, in SharePoint only. Once we get the confirmation mail, test lead will log in into SharePoint and download all the documents into share folder. Okay, what is SharePoint? SharePoint is also known as shared path. Okay, it is the application which we are using to share the information across the globe. Okay, a resource who is working in the project in any location across the globe, it can access the SharePoint, either development, testing, BA team, or and system analyst. Okay, and what is share folder? Share folder is the folder which we are using to share the information within the location. SharePoint can access across the globe, and share folder we can share the information within the location only. So just remember the point. In some projects we are using SharePoint to share the information, and in some other projects we are using VSS, means Visual Source Safe. Okay, for sharing the information. Okay, um, I don't know. You know what is VSS, Visual Source Safe. Okay. And for example, see, this is SharePoint, right? This is SharePoint and this one. And some people working in like Bangalore, some people in working Hyderabad. So they are different locations, right? So SharePoint we will see document one, document two, document three. These are BRS document. Just assume, and this document shared across the globe. And share folder test lead will download the things. I mean these documents and shared with the development team and testing team. So this is the within location. Okay, and this is across the globe. I hope you understand how we are getting the requirements in the project. They are not giving the documents directly. Okay, and this is the process they should follow. And next point is design. So during this phase, technical lead, or we can say system architect, so will be involved to design the architecture of the project or blueprint or skeleton of the project. Okay. There are two different types of designs available in this space. One is high level design and a low level design. I'll explain in detail in further sessions, but let us understand very brief. I mean, I'll give a brief explanation of what is HLD and LLD. Here, one HLD, second LLD. Okay. So high level design defines the overall architecture of the project that includes all modules. And what is LLD? It defines the overall architecture of the individual that includes all the submodules and screens. Just remember the point. In every project, there is one HLD. So HLD means what is that? For example, you can take one application. For example, I take one Gmail application. Okay, this is the Gmail application. Okay, and this is whatever you have seen. The I mean, the overall modules, all modules that involves. I mean, we can call it as high level design. Okay, and if you take one module, inbox is one module, start one module, snooze one module, send one module. This is low level designs. There is one HLD and multiple LLDs. Okay. So in the combination of, I mean, when you see the application, all modules integrate, right? So this is called HLD and one module is called LLD. So in every project, there is only one HLD and multiple low-level designs. That depends on the number of modules in the project. In most of the project, we are using unified modeling language, okay, for designing the architecture of the project, but we are not part of designing, right? If you are architecture, if you are a technical lead for designing, there you will know what is a unified modeling language. But I don't know, I just know the name of what the language they use in designing it. Okay. And next, what is um, so next we'll see coding. So coding in this phase, the developing team will be involving to write the coding for the functionality of individual modules. Individual modules. So after successfully completion of writing code for individual modules, they are performing reviews. Okay, and what I'm saying. So in this phase, development team, okay, they will get the requirements, right. One requirement, it is there is a functionality, so they have to build one model, that is inbox, for example, and they have to build functionality of individual means, in for example, one module, and they have to write the code, right, for this individual module, and after that they are performing reviews. Okay, what are the reviews they are performing? First of all, review. It is the process to verify the completeness and correctness of the task as per the capability maturity model. Okay, level 5 company standards. We need to perform four different reviews in a project. One is peer review. Next, lead review and on-site coordinator review. Sorry, guys. And next, client review. So peer review, I just give the brief explanation. It is not important as much in an interview, but you have to understand when you entered in testing part. So peer review, it is nothing but colleagues review. Okay. Peer is nothing but colleagues. This is the first review in the review process. So during this review, we will interchange the task among the team members and perform reviews based on the review comments of the reviewer. We will update the task and sending the information to the lead review. Okay. So lead, what is lead review? In this review, team lead will be involving to perform review on the team member. Okay. On the team member's task. Based on review comments of the team lead, we will update the task and sending the task to the on-site coordinator review. And what is on-site coordinator review? In this review, on-site coordinator will be involved and performing review on the project member task based on the review comments. So we will update the task and send the task to the client review. So before that, while coming to client review, what is on-site? What is onshore coordinator? So on-site, we can say on-site and onshore. So on-site coordinator is the like who is working with the client directly in the client location. Okay, the responsibility of the on-site coordinator is the intermediation between the client and company. Okay, and what is client review? So client review in this review, directly client or client side technical team will be involving to perform review on the project member task. After this completion of the client review, client will be signed off for the coding phase. Okay. Sign off means one confirmation mail. So that is sign off. Okay. This is the last review they will conduct. And after that, the testing phase will start. So what is testing? In this phase, testing team will be involved in to perform testing on the application by executing the test cases. So here testers performing the different types of testings like sanity testing, usability testing, security testing, functionality testing, performance testing. We will know about all these in detail in further session. Uh, just let us know what is testing. So after this performing the different types of testings, after successfully completion of execution of test cases, when all the defects are closed, development team will deploy the application into production team. And finally, we will see release and maintenance. Okay. In this phase, both development and testing team will be involving to provide support to the client while using the application in the production. Okay, when client or end users is using the application in the production, we need to provide the support to the client for using application. So this is all phases of SDLC. um, I hope you got it. What is SDLC? What is I mean like or we One question is what is development life cycle, what is project life cycle. So if they interview ask you what is SDLC, what is development life cycle, what is project life cycle, everything is same. And what are the different phases we have in SDLC? Why SDLC is mandatory for every project? That is also one question, interview question. Why SDLC is mandatory for every project? And who is collecting the requirements from the client in your project? And what is KT? Questionnaire is inspection. What is BRS document? What it contains? And difference between BRS and FRS document, and how you are getting requirements in your project. And what is SharePoint? Difference between HLD and LLD. What is the review? Different types of reviews. What is happening in the coding phase? Who is involved in the testing phase? And what is release and maintenance phase? So these are the interview questions that I have noted. Okay. I hope you got it, guys. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is the part of SDLC. but I'll just give one brief explanation of SDLC, because after SDLC we will know what is SDLC models. Actually, we will see these are the phases in SDLC. So SDLC, what is the meaning of SDLC? Software development life cycle, and it is a process of developing the software from start to end. These are we here mentioned 5 phases, but actually it be considered as 7 phases in SDLC, like requirement analysis, project planning. Project planning is nothing but analysis. That is a kind of analysis. Project designing part, development, testing. After testing, we are going to implement, right? Implementation one also one. It is also one phase, and maintenance. So let us understand one by one. What is requirement analysis? So in this phase, all the relevant information is collected from the client to develop a project, to develop a product, product or software or application as per the customer requirement or customer expectations. So here involved PA team or product owner or and project manager will set up a meeting with the customer to gather all information. So these things happen in requirement analysis phase. And next, what we will see, project planning. So project planning is kind of analysis. Once the requirements are clear, then the planning phase will start. While planning any project, 5 points will be considered. First point, how much it costs to develop a project. Second one, project efficiency. Third point, how much impact on the customer. Fourth point, the business is going to success or not. And fifth point, preparing for the future, either it is loss or profit, anything. And next phase is design part. In this phase, the architecture break down the system into pieces that can be programmed, and they will specify the specifications for the system that serve as input to the next phase. What is the input for the next phase? What is the next phase? Development, right? Development means what? Coding. In this phase, developer will develop the code as per the requirements. Once the code is done, they will perform unit testing. So once the unit testing is done, then developer will integrate the units and release the build for testing. So as I take one Gmail, right? Gmail, they build first inbox functionality. Okay. And they write the code and it is working properly, and they will perform the unit testing. Unit testing means it is testing is nothing but to test individual modules. That is called unit testing, and it is done by development team only. Okay, and what happened here? If I delete this mail, where it will go? Trash box, right? And in trash box, when I if I want to delete, then delete it permanently. If I want to restore, when I restore the mail, where it will go again? Inbox. Or if I want to move another box, then it will go to stats, news, anything important box that is important. Anything we can move, right? So inbox, stats, news, send, drafts, less important, anything you can take. These all connected each other, right? And these all interlink with each other. Interlink is nothing but integrate. So inbox is connected with trash. Trash is connected with inbox. Sent is connected. I mean, compose is connected to sent. Everything is interlinked and everything is connected with each other. Okay, that's why. So first they will prepare one module and take that one module and integrate with all modules. And we will see one module is called LLD, and all modules we will call it as HLD, high level design. So that is what I mean. So next, we will see a testing phase. We'll see testing, right? Testing in this phase, the testers has to understand the requirement by referring different documents such as BRD document, FRS, SRS, and one more document is use case document, and supposed to find the scenarios. So based on the scenarios, testers has to write the test cases, and written test cases has to be executed in the test environment. And last case, implementation and maintenance, right? Here we see implementation and maintenance. So once the testing is done, we are going to release the product to the customer. In this phase, the customer will perform UAT testing, user acceptance testing. In this phase, testers along with the client, they will perform the testing that product, that application is working properly or not. Okay, and it is done in production environment. If it is working properly, so testers, what will happen? They will give the confirmation mail to the development team, and developers will again come and deploy the application in customer environment from production environment. Okay, and maintenance. So once the product is released, if customer faces any issue or any problem that need to be solved time to time, okay, that is called as maintenance, and that is also involved in document. Everything is each and every point will be noted in document, requirement document. Okay, so these are all the phases of SDLC. And in the next, we will see the types of SDLC models. So SDLC models, we will see waterfall model, spiral model, V model, agile methodology, everything we will see in iterative and incremental model. Everything we will see in next session. Okay. If I start with the waterfall model, it will take another half an hour. Is it okay for you? Or if you want to start on Monday, then it's your choice, Akash and Hanuchan.
Yeah, yes.
Monday?
Okay, ma'am.
Sorry?
How much time it will take, ma'am, like for waterfall model?
Half an hour?
Okay.
Because
And
what
ma'am, waterfall mod.
I need to explain each, very detailed waterfall model, and I'll show one document here.
Ma'am, waterfall model and
Really
fish model are same or different?
different, Akash. Fish model is kind of different, and waterfall model is kind of different. And here now, right now, no one uses fish model, and some companies uses only waterfall model, and this is very old and traditional model. Few companies using almost companies agile methodology, but few companies only choose a waterfall model because it is very long project and big project we can do it here. And I am also
Yeah.
following waterfall model only in my company and project, following waterfall model. And this
Recently
is
we are following
sorry.
agile methodology, and
Okay.
for one
Previous,
project
so
we are following
what are the method?
Kanban.
What is the method to that you follow?
Yeah, we followed waterfall for US where I was working. Waterfall, then agile methodologies, and now Kanban.
Okay, fine. And these are the models are there, fish model. But here, very important one is waterfall, V model, spiral model, prototype model. I'll just give a explanation on top of that. On top of that, rat model is not important. Fish model also is not important. Agile model is very important. Very, very, very important because almost they're using agile model only. Okay. And here, waterfall model, it will take because waterfall model explanation again, and when we are going for waterfall model, advantages and disadvantages, everything. Mm, so I'll explain each and every point, right? So it will take half an hour. Like, what's the time now? 8:25
Around eight,
almost.
yeah,
Only.
25. Yeah.
So by 9, I'll finish it. What say, guys? By 9 means at least 8:50, 8:55.
You can.
Yeah. Akash, what about you?
Sure, ma'am, no problem.
Yeah. So let's start with waterfall model. So it is already I explained in previous batches, so I'll explain this. So here, waterfall model. This is the first model. Okay. So we have understood SDLC, right? SDLC means software development lifecycle, and it is a step-by-step process which we have to follow to deliver the quality product to the customer, right? Now, by using SDLC, the companies design their own models, or we can say process model. Among them, the first and important model is waterfall model, and this is very old and traditional model. Okay, when software industry started, the first and initial model started with waterfall model only. So it is very old and traditional model, and it is also called linear model. If I just look at the picture, it seems like waterfall model, right? Here you can see arrow marks, right? It is like waterfall. The flow will be go down like this, right? That's the reason we can say this is a simple waterfall model. Now let us understand what is this model and how the software development will happen in this particular model. And also we will discuss advantages and disadvantages of this particular model. And it is very important for interview question, guys. So even though we are not following these models in the company, we should understand this model. What are the drawbacks in this model and why we are going with a new model? All these models comes again SDLC, but approach is little different. Now let us start with waterfall model. What is waterfall model? So this is also one of the model which comes under SDLC. And whatever the phases we have seen in SDLC, the same phases will be there. Right? See, requirement analysis, system design, implementation. Implementation is nothing but development, testing, deployment, maintenance. Deployment means implementation. Okay. So the same phases will be there, but the approach will be different. So again, the waterfall model start with the requirement analysis. You can see here requirement analysis. Again, we collect the requirement from the client and we will prepare certain documents. So here, the main important is a documentation. Documents in the sense each and every activity we will document. Okay. In this model, documentation will play very important role. So the first phase of requirement analysis, we will talk to the client. It means normally a business people like project manager, product manager, these people involved in the communication between customers and companies, right? So they will collect the requirement from the client, and once we get the requirement, they will prepare some document that is called SRS document. Okay. And SRS document is software requirement specification document. In that document, every requirement they will document which is taken from the client. So once the document is created, then system designing will start. So what is system designing means? Whatever the documents we prepared during requirement analysis, based on that document, the designers will be there. The designers again, the different team. So those people will design the software and they will prepare HLD and LLD documents. Basically, they will divide the entire requirement into HLD into LLD modules, like small pieces of a software, and finally integrate them. So the second phase is design phase. In this phase, what happened? Based on the requirement document, the designers will prepare the design documents. Once the designing phase is completed, then developers will develop or implement the software based on the design documents. Because as a developer, if we develop a software, I need some input, right? From where I get the input? So based on the design, I have to develop the software. So the next phase is implementation or coding phase, right? After completion of implementation or development, now the testing phase will start. So in this phase, what you will do? The tester is going to test the software after completion of development. And once the testing is completed, we will deploy the software in the customer environment. Deploy is nothing but we will install the software in the customer environment. And then they start using the software. That is a maintenance phase. This is the last phase. So this is all about waterfall model. Now, if I look at that waterfall model picture, understand the behavior of the risk. Suppose here every phase, if you want to start a design, suppose the designer team is there, right? And they want to start a design. What is the input for them? So requirement analysis, right? For system design, what is the input? Requirement analysis. And what are the documents we required? SRS document, which is prepared, and BRS document, whatever we prepare the document, right? That is the input for system design. So what are the which is prepared in the first phase, it will be the input to the next phase. So each and every phase needs some input and produce some output. For example, when I take requirement analysis phase, what is the input for this? What is the input? Requirement documentation, right? Requirement document is the input. And what is the output of this phase? Requirement specification document. And requirement specification document will be the input for the system design. And what is the outcome of system design? What is the outcome of system design? Design documents. Based on this, what is the design documents? HLD, LLD, right? Based on the design documents, it will be the input for the implementation. And what is the outcome of implementation phase? Code, right? Developers will implement the code, and once the outcome is software, and once delivered the software, and testing phase will start. What is the input for testing? The software itself. Once the developers provided the software for the testing team, testing will conduct. After completion of testing, what is the outcome? Test cases, test plan, test results. So these are the outcome of testing phase. And these are the documents we have to prepare as a tester, and the deployment will happen. In the deployment phase, we will prepare some documents like installation document, functional flows, how the software will work using manual, these things provided to the customer. So based on that, the customer will using the software. So each and every phase is having certain input and it gives some output. That is the first point. The second point is, suppose if I want to start a design, unless the requirement analysis completed, I can't start the design. What does that mean? Every phase depends on the previous phase of the model. For example, designing depends on the requirement, and uh, like implementation depends on the design. Testing depends on the implementation. Deployment depends on the testing. So each phase is depends on the previous phase. Unless we completed this phase, we cannot go to the next phase. So this is the behavior of the waterfall model. So this is very old and traditional model where the companies were following in olden days. But now what is the advantage and disadvantage? Let us understand. So many models came in the market, guys, but why we move to another model, that we need to understand. So what is the advantages and disadvantages that we will discuss now? So one by one, we'll see. Quality of the product will be good. That is the first point, right? Because what I'm saying, quality of the product will be good. Because in the waterfall model, normally this waterfall model prepared for long-term projects. So why the quality of the product will be good? Because every phase we have a detailed documentation. So whatever activity we do, we will document it so that we will be very, very clear for the people who are involved in the design phase, development phase, and testing phase. So finally, we will reach to the quality product. And what is the second point? Since the requirement changes are not allowed, chances of finding bugs will be less. So one more important, guys. Suppose we got some requirement from the client and we have started design, coding somewhere in this particular phases, but again the client came back and asked us to change something and to change some requirement that is not possible in the waterfall model. So frequently changing the requirement, we cannot accommodate in the waterfall model. This is a fixed model. Okay. And once you completed the requirement analysis, then design, then coding, testing, deployment go on like this. We cannot allow the new requirements. We cannot change the requirements in the middle of this phase because everything will be freeze. Everything will be clear. Okay. But everything will be clear cut documentation. So the new requirement we cannot accept it in this model. So because of that reason, chances of finding bugs very less. And if we keep on changing the requirement or designing or coding, definitely chances to get a number of bugs. But here everything will be clear. The documentation will be clear. And we are not allowing the new requirements in the middle of the process. So there are less chances of bugs to find in this waterfall model. That is another advantage. Okay. And uh, since the requirement changes are not allowed, chances of finding bugs will be less. Okay. And what is the third point? Initial investment is less since the testers are hired at the later stages. So what does that mean? If I look at the waterfall model image once again, okay. So every phase will have different team, like requirement analysis have a different team, design will be different team, coding, development will be different team, testing is a different team. At the initial stage of software development process, we don't need all the team members, right? So initial stage we just need only business people or like product manager, project manager. Then the designers will need. After completion of this phase, the programmers or the developers are needed, right? And then testers we can recruit. Until unless we completed these phases, we don't need testers, right? So the investment is very less. That's the point we need to discuss here. Initial investment is less because we don't need to hire the people in the beginning stage. So whenever we need those people, we can recruit them and we can hire them. So that is the reason. So that's why here third point here mentioned initial investment is less since the testers are hired at the later stages. And what is the fourth point? Preferred for small project where requirement is freeze. So especially this model preferred for small project where the requirements are freeze. So because every phase will have a static documentation and every phase document will be freeze. We cannot modify the documents again. We cannot go back and modify the documents. So if there is any requirement which are very static, which are not dynamically requirement, which are not changing frequently, in those cases, we can go and prefer this model. Okay. So these are few advantages of waterfall model. And let us understand what is disadvantages of waterfall model. What is the first point? Like requirement changes. So see, let us discuss see because based on the drawbacks, the new models coming into the market. Every model they're having own disadvantages, and then people are using different types of models. Even waterfall model also having drawbacks. Now we will see what are the drawbacks of a waterfall model. And this is the first point. Requirement changes are not allowed. Suppose the client given some initial requirement here. We started design and implementation. We are implemented and in testing phase. At that time, again, client come back. Okay. Client come back and ask us to change some requirement or ask us to implement some new requirement. So that kind of requirement we cannot accommodate in the middle of the process. We cannot accommodate the frequent changes requirements. We cannot accommodate in your software development process. So this is one of the disadvantages of waterfall model. And that is the first point. Requirement changes are not allowed because this is fixed model. Once the phase is completed, once we move on next phase, we cannot go back to previous phases. Okay. So the requirement changes are not allowed in the middle of the development process. And second point is very important. So if there is a defect in requirement that will be continued in the later phases. So what is that meaning? Suppose in the requirement analysis phase, we have collected some requirement. Okay. Let us see the picture of waterfall model so that you can understand easily. So in the requirement analysis phase, we have collected some requirement. Suppose if there is any problem or mistake in the requirement, that will be continued in the next phases, right? Because based on the requirement document, the design will happen and the same mistake will be continued in the next phase. If the design is working, okay, if the design is working, the coding also will be wrong. If the coding is wrong, then testing will be wrong and we cannot find those bugs. And if we miss the bug again, that bug will come under maintenance. Again, that bug will faced by the customer. So if there is any mistake in one phase, that will be continued in the next phases. So that is one of the drawback. And the next point is, so sometimes total investment is more because time taking for rework on defect is time consuming, which leads to high investment. So what is that meaning? So total investment is more. Why? Because if you find any bugs in the middle of the phase, like suppose in the testing phase, we found some defects. And when I found the defects in the testing phase, what we have to do? We have to correct the defect in the coding level. And again, the same defect we have to correct in the designing level. And again, correct in the requirement level, right? Suppose, just understand, suppose in the testing phase, okay, why I'm saying the total investment is more. If you find any bugs, suppose in the testing phase, we found some defects. Okay, in the testing phase, what we have to do? So we have to correct the defect in the coding level. And again, the same defect we have to correct in the designing level and again correct in the requirement level also. So if you find any defect, any of these phases, we have to go back to previous phase and we need to modify the documents, right? Accordingly, we modify the documents. That is again more cost, that the total investment is more. If we want to do rework, we have to invest a lot. That will cause the rework, right? So if we find any defects in some phase, we need to change. Suppose in the testing phase, found some defects, accordingly, we have to change the code. And should work on that. Developers should work on that. That is again rework. And again, the designers will change the documents accordingly. That is also rework. And we have to change the requirement. We have to correct the requirement. That is also rework. So whenever you do some rework, the cost will be more. So that is another disadvantage of waterfall model. And the last one is testing will start after coding. See, what does that mean? We have only one phase of testing, right? So after completion of um, three phases, here we have testing phase, right? We have testing phase. If we find any defects in the testing phase, accordingly, we change the code and we have to change the implementation. We have to change the design and and we have to change the requirement. So we have only one phase of testing here. We don't have different phases of testing. So the chances of bugs will be more, right? And that's why I'm saying this is very old and traditional model the companies are following. So initial stages of IT industry started a long back. So now based on these drawbacks, the new models are coming as in the market, coming up in the market. If you see disadvantages of first point, okay, requirement changes are not allowed. Okay, because if the customer given some requirement in the middle of the process, the customer come back and ask us to change the requirement, they may give some new requirement. These changes are commonly there, right? We should able to accommodate those changes in the software. And here we have only one phase of testing. If you find any defects in the previous phases, that will continue to the next phases. So that is also again the biggest problem. So to overcome this particular problem, we have another model called spiral model and which is also called iterative model. So that is another model we have to discuss in the next session, guys. Right?
Yeah. Sure.
Got it clear? Got it, guys?
Yeah. So this waterfall model is only applicable in terms of small companies or a startup.
Startup company.
But my doubt is, in startup, they
Next
frequently
time,
change the application details.
sorry guys.
Uh,
So please repeat the question.
like my doubt is like in a startup, they frequently change the requirement. Like I worked in one startup and they were changing some requirement. But in waterfall model, we don't like if there is some
Yeah,
modification, then
waterfall
we don't
model, we
follow.
don't have any requirement changes. So
Okay.
in you are saying you are working in startup company and they allowing the requirement changes. That is the
Yeah.
meaning of you.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it's not here. It's not there actually, Akash. My company requirement changes is not allowed because it is waterfall model already. Everything is very cleared in document. So if we want to change the, I mean, if you want to requirement changes anything, if you want to add new requirement, then we have to start. I mean, first from first level, not in the
Mhm.
middle of the process.
So like if there is changes, then everything has to be uh, changed, not that particular model or
No.
a particular thing.
Whatever you saying, right, it is possible in agile methodology only, not in waterfall model. I don't know how it is possible in your project.
No, no,
It
not
will
now. Like earlier, it happened.
earlier. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So this is the actually waterfall model explanation, and this is the way we have to follow in waterfall model. So that's why I mean, most of the people are not choosing this one because client came again and again. They want to change the requirements, right? That is not possible in here. And here also one only testing phase. Here, not in every phase. We don't see any testing. So not in requirement analysis, not in designing, not in development. Okay.
Mhm.
So only testing phase, only one phase. So if you see agile methodology, each and every phase we can see the testing phase. So that is the main
Yes.
advantage, and requirement changes also allowed. So almost few companies, I mean almost companies give a priority for agile methodology only, and it is very fast, and the documentation is also very less.
Yes.
Got it, guys?
Yeah.
Anujan,
Yeah, yes, I'm okay.
clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Okay, guys. As I promise, like what's the time now? 8:50, 8:50, 8:55. I'll finish this waterfall model. So next two models we will see in the next session on Monday. Okay.
And
Yeah. So,
only two members are there. The batch is still running or something.
See, yesterday, four or five people, right,
Yeah, yes.
attended this session.
Uh,
I think they are not available. Okay.
today only, yes.
They enrolled, but they are not available.
Okay.
Hmm.
And
Today is Friday, guys, and already weekend is started.
yeah, yes.
So
yes.
they think will refer the recording session. So I think so they not attending them. So that's why yesterday in yesterday's session, I'm repeatedly I was requesting you that please don't skip sessions. Okay.
And timings is confirmed for 7:32.
Somebody, I mean, confusing with the timings because they are working right. One guy, I think, Mallikarjuna, I don't know. The shifting is kind of different, like 3 p.m. to night.
No, my end only 3 p.m.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Anujan. I was thinking like
Yeah,
someone.
okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ma'am, this time is also
But
okay. 7:30.
is that this timing is okay for you guys?
Yeah, for me at least. Yeah.
I'm thinking I have a call that's on
So
ready.
I see, guys, I told you guys. So please mention your working time, but nobody update in group. I'm keep on waiting.
Yes, I will.
Okay, I'll send the message. Okay. Uh, After that, please mention your timings, and based on that, we will decide what is the timings for you best and comfortable. Right, guys? Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
yes,
also
Priya.
one doubt I have.
Yeah, Akash.
Hello. Like, can just a request is from my end. Like, can we start from a Tosca and then manual, or like this one is preferable?
So first, I mean, you are asking me first we'll start TOSCA and after that we'll take manual.
Yeah. Like, is it like possible?
See what happened if I start with the TOSCA, right? Um, TOSCA is completely practical session, and already in the first session I told you manual testing is kind of ground level preparation. If you're not building the pillar, if you're not
Mm.
ground, what happened? The building
Yes.
will collapse, right? So that's
Yes.
why I preferred first manual. And see, as early as possible, I will finish the concepts, everything. Okay. I'm not taking too
Mm.
much time because automation is very important for you, right? So you want to switch that. I'm not taking too much time. As early as possible, I'll finish the concepts, everything. So that's why I'm extend the time. Actually, it's 1 hour only. But see, I'm continuing extra 50 minutes, 55 minutes. So why? So I want to finish these concepts as early as possible because practicals it will take more time.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Got it clear? Got it, guys?
Yes,
Akash?
ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. See, first starting you will be bored, but after that this models right. So in detail you will know what is types of testings, what are the types in detail, everything. Okay, and each and every point will know. Many people like we are know what is manual testing, like experience we already know that, and some concepts like we will know more in detail. That is very important for you guys. So in interview also they will ask you the combination of manual and automation. That's why I give you a preference. Anujan, any queries for you? Any queries for me?
No, I'm fine. Nothing is.
Nothing. Okay. So see you on Monday, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, guys, and happy weekend. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
It was
Good
nice
night.
meeting. Yeah, bye. Good night.
And you will get
Bye.
this session videos. Okay. If
Yes,
you're
yes,
not
sure.
sign up,
Yeah.
eTech channel, please sign up completely and take this live session videos for your reference. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Bye
sure.
bye.
Thank you. Yeah, bye. Thank you.
Yeah.